Welcome to Way to Recovery. I'm here in Jamestown, Kentucky at the headquarters of Way to Recovery Center. And for the next half hour, we're going to study and examine the subject of freedom. Freedom has many meanings to different people, but if you're struggling with substance abuse of any kind, freedom may seem like an unobtainable dream. Our society is riddled with stories of despair, severed homes, broken relationships, and hopeless individuals. But hope has no boundary, and recovery is one decision away from you right now. A real-life example of freedom in action is founder and president of Way to Recovery Center, Greg Trout.
Hi, my name is Pastor Greg Trout, founder of the Way to Recovery Centers. And I wasn't always a pastor. Several years ago, I lived under a bridge much like this, was also incarcerated, and successfully completed 5 years probation. Now, stay tuned for some real stories of some people who found their way to recovery also.
I was a 15-year addict, working in corporate America, had found myself to a point where I had lost all trust by my employers, my family. I'd lost my wife, basically found myself to a point where I was broken both physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I had found my rock bottom. Coming to Second Chance and in that state allowed me to accept the things that were offered to me here. Realizing that first and foremost that I couldn't do it by myself, and there was no facility anywhere on the planet that could do it for me, but realizing that God could do it for me. I was one of those addicts that it was going to take basically death or losing everything. And I thank God today that it took me losing everything and not death, because I feel like now my life is so rich. I'm now able to help other people that have problems with addiction and help them on a daily basis get their lives back together, get their families back, get their children back, and live a productive life in society. I am the court liaison and case manager for Second Chance Outreach. Our center offers long and short-term residential programming, ranging from 30-day programs to programs ranging up to a year. Each resident is assessed during admission to include a drug screen, complete search of the client and his or her belongings, random drug tests while here at the facility, and room searches are weekly. Before out-processing, the client completes a detailed aftercare plan, referred to a halfway house or independent living facility, or enrolls in an intensive outpatient service program. Aftercare and support is a vital part of their long-lasting recovery. Our addiction specialists are well-trained and provide quality care and a safe, drug-free environment for all of our residents. Our team of certified addiction specialists have over 40 years of combined experience in treating substance abuse, addictive behaviors, and addicted personalities. Both male and female programs are available. Our male and female programs are completely separate and gender specific. We also provide care for pregnant females up to their third trimester and to seniors over the age of 50.
Addiction and addictive behaviors may seem harmless at first, but they can easily progress into a harmful lifestyle beginning at an early age. Tell me how this addiction started, or addictions in your case.
Yeah, was a child, 13, actually, had family members that sold drugs and used drugs, and I had a rough childhood, no happiness, no peace at home. From a child, I was molested by a female cousin, and at a young age, I hated women. I hated everybody. I hated myself. I'd blame my mom because she was married so many times. I blame my dad for leaving home when I was young. I blame everybody, but it started from anger, from hate and resentment, and I just built, I covered that up with dope over the years, you know, and it was a way of escape. Smoking a little pot turned into drinking, and by 18 I was selling cocaine and smoking and snorting, and before you knew it I was 37 and got a record behind me, you know, locked up a lot, just lost. I mean,
I was 16 when I started smoking, and then I started going to parties and I started drinking, and then I went into pills. I went into Xanax really bad, and then I went to jail on my mother's birthday, so I promised her I wouldn't do Xanax anymore, but I justified that by doing painkillers instead of Xanax.
I grew up without knowing about love, and from a dysfunctional family, And I always wanted to experience love, and so I just started looking for love in the wrong places, and drugs, and trying to make money the fast way, and getting caught up with, you know, the wrong crowds. And
I was 12 years old, and it started with drinking every now and then. And then I got introduced to marijuana, and I started smoking marijuana. I'd done that for probably 6 years. And then I got introduced to opiates, painkillers. I started out with Loratabs, and then it progressed a lot over the next 4 or 5 years.
Where I'm from, rural America, there's kids affected younger than teenagers. I mean, it's everybody's doing it.
Whether you're trying to experience the high or kill the pain, you can't avoid the consequences that follow addiction.
Now, I'm just going to be honest with you.
Be real. This is about being real.
All right. Everything I'd done had was gone. Had a lot of money at one time, had a lot of material things. All that was gone. A lot of broken relationships through that mess. You know, my wife was on the urge of leaving me. And I was just broken. I was tired of living that way. And I went to a rehab years ago in Lexington, and they told me once an addict, always an addict. And I was like, I need to hear that, because I got an excuse, you know. But after a while, you know, I ended up trying suicide. The day I came to Way to Recovery and Second Chance Outreach, I tried suicide that morning. I was lost, didn't know the Lord, you know, and that was my way out. I can take it back to the word in Genesis where Eve was deceived, you know, by the serpent, and it was a fruit. Sin always looks good. It always seems fun. You see everybody over here laughing and heckling and having a good time. But remember that through that action you take, there's always a consequence. And the ultimate consequence is death, you know, without knowing the Lord. But I smoked a joint when I was 13, Pastor Trout. And before you knew it, I was 37 years old and hung up and everything. Started using a needle, heroin, and I never thought it'd go that far, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, before you even think about it, it ain't always as fun as it looks, because it hurts you.
I'll never be one of those.
Yeah, I said that for years.
Oh, it ruined me. I dropped out of school. I ruined my entire family relationship. None of my family could trust me. None of my friends, every friend that I had in school didn't want anything to do with me because I was a user. I isolated myself completely. And then it began to where it just took a toll on me, where I was nothing but depressed. I couldn't stand myself anymore. So all I would do is use to cover that up, and it just get worse and worse and worse.
It was a rough experience. I went through getting robbed. I went to robbing folks, and I went to doing petty stealing, just anything to fulfill my flesh and my selfish desires, wanting and craving that drug. I thought it was just a way out. And I wasn't doing nothing but hurting myself and harming myself. I asked God to remove those cravings and those thoughts, but I didn't get it right. The first time, I didn't get it right. The second time, I had to go through a lot.
What would you tell someone that's out there right now using? Would you tell them to reach out for help? What would you say to them during that lifestyle?
I'll just tell them to stop what they're doing, think about the people that they're hurting, because it's not about them. They might have kids, they have kids, they have loved ones, somebody loves them. And it's not about themselves, it's about the others that they leave scarred and wounded, because what we do affect other people.
Our center offers long and short-term residential programming, ranging from 30-day programs to programs ranging up to a year. Each resident is assessed during admission to include a drug screen, complete search of the client and his or her belongings, random drug tests while here at the facility, and room searches are weekly. Before out-processing, the client completes a detailed aftercare plan, referred to a halfway house or independent living facility, or enrolls in an intensive outpatient service program. Aftercare and support is a vital part of their long-lasting recovery. Our addiction specialists are well trained and provide quality care and a safe drug-free environment for all of our residents. Our team of certified addiction specialists have over 40 years of combined experience in treating substance abuse, addictive behaviors, and addictive personalities. Both male and female programs are available. Our male and female programs are completely separate and gender specific. We also provide care for pregnant females up to their third trimester and to seniors over the age of 50.
Please call 270-384-9548 for bed availability and pricing, or visit us on the web at www.secondchanceoutreach.com.
Kayla and Walter came to the Way to Recovery, a broken couple, bound by their own separate addictions, with their firstborn on the way. They needed their family set free from codependency and the power of addiction. Here we're looking at you guys as a couple. We're one of the only facilities that does couples. What was it like going through treatment as a couple and not being able to always see each other, learning not to be codependent on one another? Tell me what that was like. Tell me what that experience was like.
That is really what we needed, because it let us work on what we needed to work on instead of always worrying about what she's doing. I could work on what I needed to work on, and then when we come back together, we really clicked more. Our love has grown, and we get along better. We don't argue. We still have differences, but we don't argue and fight. God's blessed us with a marriage, a child. It's been wonderful.
You got the American dream right now.
Amen.
Hallelujah. The global dream. Everybody wants, to have a peace of mind and a good family and a job and those things. But that's impossible to do when you're in serious addictions, isn't it?
Yes.
And be happy. Kayla, what do you think? What was your experience like going through an inpatient facility and your man is 2 doors down and you can't even talk to him?
I'm a really bad codependent. It was a lot worse than I am now, but I struggled with it a lot because I was always worried about what he was doing or if he was going to get in trouble, and I wouldn't focus. I wanted to deflect. I never wanted to focus on me, so if I could focus on him, it was so much easier. I wanted to fix all his problems. I didn't want to work on mine, but once I started working on mine.
Yeah, he definitely had enough of his own.
Yeah.
But it helped you to learn to work on your issues. You worked on yours individually, and you come back together as a couple. Now that you came back together as a couple, how hard would you say it is for a married couple to coexist with both are addicted? Or how hard would it be to quit if you're both addicted at the same time? Would you say one or the other gets clean and it's hard for the other one? Would you say that both need to get clean?
Yes.
Get sober?
Absolutely, because if she was still using, then that would make me think, well, it's okay for me to use because she's doing it, or vice versa.
I wouldn't be able to do it if he wasn't clean. There's no way that I could put, after being in recovery, you can't, in my opinion, you can't go back into a relationship with somebody in active use. It's too tempting. If you see it all the time, that's all you're gonna think about.
What would you say to the married couples that's out there that are using right now? What would you tell them?
Seek help. To not give up on their marriage and on their life. To know that it can get better, that everything can be resolved if they'll just work on it.
And most of all, seek Jesus. Because there is hope. We're living proof that there is hope.
If you feel like you're out of options due to a pregnancy, then please take a moment to listen to Kayla's story and how she, through the Way to Recovery programming, found a new way of life for both her and her family.
I used to worry all the time. When I was little, I never wanted to be a mom because I said, how am I going to bring a kid into this world with the way that things are? Because I was so depressed. But now I can't wait for him to be here so that I can teach him how happy he can be in life and how much he can have as long as he keeps God in his life. That all the bad, it doesn't matter how bad it gets, it'll always get better.
What would you say to the female out there who is struggling in their addiction, or the female that's out there that's a single mother, or the female that's out there that's pregnant. Right now, okay, you're going to have a voice for females all over the country and all over the world, globally. What would you say to them if you could say something you knew they were using? What would you tell them to do?
I would have to tell them to make sure that they pray and get in their word, and to go Philippians 4:13, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it doesn't matter if they have anybody in this world. If they will find God, that they will make it through whatever circumstance that they're in. And that there's hope. They don't have to feel lost anymore. They don't have to feel alone, because they're not. There's millions of people going through it, but more than that, they have God right beside them all the time if they'll just call on Him.
He's always there, isn't he?
He's always there.
The Way to Recovery Centers, and a lot of people don't know, but Second Chance is our inpatient facility, one of our other ministries, and we have several ministries we're partnered with all over the country. So if someone calls us, we'll try to get them help right there where they're at. They don't have to come to our facilities. But would you say that you was comfortable and learned something viable to your recovery at the Way to Recovery Centers and facilities?
Yes, most definitely, because it wasn't until I went there and the way they're faith-based that I found who God was. And God used the Way to Recovery and Second Chance to show me who He was, because I wouldn't listen any other time. And when He did, He just kept going and kept going, and I've learned so much more about Him and who I can be through the centers than I have anywhere in church or anything.
Our center offers long and short-term residential programming, ranging from 30-day programs to programs ranging up to a year. Each resident is assessed during admission to include a drug screen, complete search of the client and his or her belongings, random drug tests while here at the facility, and room searches are weekly. Before out-processing, the client completes a detailed aftercare plan, referred to a halfway house or independent living facility, or enrolls in an intensive outpatient service program. Aftercare and support is a vital part of their long-lasting recovery. Our addiction specialists are well trained and provide quality care and a safe, drug-free environment for all of our residents. Our team of certified addiction specialists have over 40 years of combined experience in treating substance abuse, addictive behaviors, and addictive personalities. Both male and female programs are available. Our male and female programs are completely separate and gender specific. We also provide care for pregnant females up to their third trimester and to seniors over the age of 50.
Please call 270-384-9548 for bed availability and pricing, or visit us on the web at www.secondchanceoutreach.com.
The Way to Recovery Centers provide a safe, natural detoxification without the harmful side effects of chemicals, narcotics, or addictive maintenance drugs. Chopper, let's talk
Yes, sir.
about detox.
Okay.
You had several episodes of trying to medically detox. Tell us about that.
Well, when I didn't have no medicine, or when I was waiting on the dope man, or didn't have the money, or couldn't steal my wife's checkbook or something, whatever reason, I'd go to the emergency room and get a shot of Valium or a shot of liquid Xanax. Then I found a methadone clinic in Nashville, Tennessee, and they had me on a maintenance program. They was giving me that to help me battle the heroin addiction and the Oxycontin addiction.
And so you're going from just one narcotic to another?
Yes, sir.
Maintenance. So you're saying maintenance. So
Yes.
they're just maintaining your addiction.
Yeah.
Did you ever get off pills completely, or
No.
drugs? So you went from one dependence to another dependence.
And methadone was worse than the heroin or Oxycontin. Usually 3 or 4 days, heroin or methadone, the sickness will be gone. But the methadone will get in your bones, and it does something else up here too, man.
We used to call it methadone.
Methadone.
Because it would, your marrow would hurt,
Yeah.
your hair would hurt. I know some people out there can relate to
Yeah.
that. Maybe if you've not been addicted before, you couldn't. Here's the other thing. People are afraid that they're going to die during detox, which is possible. Alcohol, Xanax. But the reality is most people can probably do a natural detox and get all those meds out of their system, those harmful narcotics, and not have to be maintenance, but on probably mild non-narcotic medicine. So how do you feel about a non-narcotic detox?
Before I went through that, I was thinking there's no way I can do that. When I came to the place that you have in Jamestown, if I knew I wasn't going to get medicine, I wouldn't have been there, because I thought, I was going to get some medicine. I'm thinking medicine as narcotic. But it was the first time I'd ever naturally detoxed. Before, it had always been something, been a shot or an IV or Heplock.
I think there's a lot of people that's out there today listening thinking, man, there's no way I can detox. What would you tell them?
I'd say, come try it. That's just the fear that we have, but it's a lie, though. You can do it. And prayer, when I was going through my battle there with detox, I had people pray for me. I never had that before, but that works. I have prayed with people detoxing. They'd be scared, fear of this, fear of that. But prayer is detox. Pray.
And Christ does what he does, but at the same time, there is a physical part.
There
we
is.
have to check blood pressure. We have to make sure the temperature don't go up. We do check all those things.
Yes, hydrate,
vital
yep.
things, make sure they're hydrated. Right, so we check all those things, but the reality is prayer can help and faith can help, and being around people who have a good protocol.
Yep.
I believe most people can naturally detox.
I know they can, I did.
Can you relate to these stories? Does this resemble your life? Have you had these types of thoughts? Today, I want you to know I've been where you are right now, and there is hope. Here you are, going to school, you got your license back, sounds like you're getting your life back, you got your GED, things that will last a long time. But most of all, tell me about your relationship with Christ.
Oh. When I first came to Second Chance, I grew up and I knew, my mom always told me about God, but I never knew him. And when I came there, I felt so lost. And when he grabbed a hold of me, my entire life changed. He showed me how everything that was horrible in the past didn't have to be that way anymore. He took all that bad and he turned it into a way to where I could help other people. And I could change how they felt about themselves through him. He showed me how happy I could be again and how much he loved me even if I didn't love me anymore. And pulled me out of every dump that I've ever been in. And every struggle that I've had since I met him and I had him in my life, he's pulled me out of. It's one thing that you don't ever want to let go of once you have it. It's something that I don't ever want to lose, is my relationship with him.
You're what we call hope. You are a product of Jesus Christ and the hope that he instills in us when he saves us. You're reborn, as they say. And so your lifestyle's totally changed, your whole demeanor's changed, your character's changed. Yeah, you have some issues, I know. But today, I'd like to ask you one question. As God has been able to recover you, do you think that it's possible that anybody, through God's Word and maybe some of the curriculums and some of the inpatient facilities and outpatient facilities we have, the Way to Recovery, do you think with the right teaching and discipleship that people can recover from anything, any addiction?
Yes, sir. You got to have a made-up mind and a willing heart. I think anybody that chooses to want to help themselves, they can get help at the Way to Recovery. It works. It worked for me. The people there, they show me how to grow. They keep me safe because they teach me with my patience how to remain humble through situations, and just how to it just teach me about the fruits of the Holy Spirit to just orchestrate those things in my life.
Now you're a worker there.
Yes, sir.
You're a worker at one of the centers.
Yes, sir.
You have come through a whole course of several years, and now you're the person giving back to those that were like you at one time.
Yes, sir.
And so how does that make you feel, the service part?
I just give God the glory. And a lot of people that he placed in my path, a few pastors out there that poured the word into me, and it just makes me feel good to just be able to pour out, to be used as a willing vessel to help reach out to God's people, his children.
I grew up without a father, and that's really no excuse, but I thought it was. And coming to the Way to Recovery and Second Chance, let me realize that I can't blame my problems on everyone else. I got to work on myself. And the only way to do that is through Jesus.
I've seen you become more of a man, more responsible. You know, a responsible man, a responsible young man. You're out, you're working for your family, you're working at one of the halfway houses as well. You're staying in your own recovery. Would you tell parents out there to protect their kids today?
Yes, definitely.
Wow. What would you say about a Christ-centered recovery center? Some people don't give them enough credit, I don't think. Of course, I'm saying that from a personal note because we have Christ-centered facilities. But what would you say to the viewers out there about a Christ-centered facility? Are they as good as any other facility? Do they give you what you need?
In my opinion, they're better because when I was out there, I was searching for something I was never going to find until I found Jesus. And He's the only thing that I found that could fill that big empty hole I had in me.
The only way you're ever going to get out of addiction, out of that kind of lifestyle, is the Lord. I would tell them to pray to God to show up in my life. I used to question, you know, God, if you're real, you know, show me, show me, show me. And He was showing me all the time, you know. I mean, I've overdosed, man, and been brought back to life. He's there. All you got to do is cry out to Him, and I promise you, He'll take you.
Our center offers long and short-term residential programming, ranging from 30-day programs to programs ranging up to a year. Each resident is assessed during admission to include a drug screen, complete search of the client and his or her belongings, random drug tests while here at the facility, and room searches are weekly. Before out-processing, the client completes a detailed aftercare plan, referred to a halfway house or independent living facility, or enrolls in an intensive outpatient service program. Aftercare and support is a vital part of their long-lasting recovery. Our addiction specialists are well-trained and provide quality care and a safe, drug-free environment for all of our residents. Our team of certified addiction specialists have over 40 years of combined experience in treating substance abuse, addictive behaviors, and addictive personalities. Both male and female programs are available. Our male and female programs are completely separate and gender specific. We also provide care for pregnant females up to their third trimester and to seniors over the age of 50.
Please call 270-384-9548 for bed availability and pricing, or visit us on the web at www.secondchanceoutreach.com.
Thank you for tuning in today, and my name is Pastor Greg Trout. I'm the founder of the Way to Recovery Clinics and Second Chance Outreach. And I want to tell you, I haven't always been a pastor. And I lived a life and a lifestyle of righteous living and drug addiction and pornography and women and sexual addictions. And I was just multi-addicted until I was a junkie on the street. Several years ago, I was living under a bridge, homeless, and came to the realization that I needed help. And so during that time, I cried out to Christ, and I went and found a local church, and the church didn't know what to do with me. They was stumped at why I just couldn't quit. And so I began to research addiction and recovery and why I couldn't quit on my own at that time. And I got into some awesome places, but they just didn't help. And I kept failing and kept relapsing. And if you're one of those people out there today that just seems like you just can't get it together, then I would like to offer you the opportunity to call us, to talk to us. Maybe we can help, maybe we can't. Maybe we have to refer you somewhere else. That's okay. But we're real people doing real things, real places. This is a real time when people need help. I want you to remember that you're not alone. There's hope. I want you to call and let us get an information packet to you.